guys, Mr. Freecoiner coming back to again today. Hope you guys have been doing well and taking care of yourselves. So, so, lot going on. The prices have tanked, really more like falling off a cliff. Of course, because of the whole tariff and whatnot situation. But guys, you know, when we have movement like this, generally what we can expect next, you know what we can expect next. Now, I'm not absolutely sure what's going to happen. And of course, I am not a financial advisor. You know, I'm just giving my opinions and just letting you know what I think. And also telling you guys what I'm going to do. So just make sure whatever you do your own research. That being said, so the tariff thing is a major contributor. However, the thing is, it's just a bunch of hype. The people who are, really trying to make Trump fail, this whole situation, really what's happening is the powers that be, the people who are entrenched or who were entrenched in our pockets, stealing our money, they are trying their best to make this fail. They know they can't do it, but they want to make it as difficult as possible so they can hopefully gather some sentiment, some basically some hatred against Trump from his constituency, right? Now, like I mentioned, I'm not a Trumper by any means, but I know good things when I see it. I know someone who is trying to help when I see it, and I've known this since 2020. Actually, when I really started to look at this, I realized that Trump actually is a decent guy. You know, he's a normal guy, just like us. But he has money. He's had to, he probably got money when he was younger from his dad, whatnot, but his mentality is like ours. He's not a predator like these other people are. And I'm telling you, the people who have been entrenched are predators. They have been preying on us. Okay. So whether you believe that or not, you can just look at the history and look at how much money was being sent. The reason why they were taxing us into oblivion. And I'm going to tell you this. In order to keep things going the way they were, with us being in I think it was a $2 trillion deficit, okay? We were spending, I think it was like $6 trillion a year. And this is after them getting like somewhere around $4 trillion in taxes from us, which the whole tax thing is against the Constitution. It is not constitutional at all. So here we are paying these people who are sending money all over the world and lining their pockets while we suffer. And they had no remorse about it. In fact, they're doubling down on it. They have been doubling down on it, trying to keep all of these processes in place so they can drain us. And a lot of these processes are still in place. They're still trying to get them, Trump and Doge and all that. They're trying to get all that stuff, released. But these people don't want to let it go. That's the reason why you had this so-called, was it the demonstration or the protest yesterday, which turned out to be absolutely nothing, full of a bunch of whacked out weirdos. But either way, the fact of the matter is taxes is just theft. Okay. They've been stealing from us. They've been using our money for their own purposes. They've been funding wars. They've been doing all this stuff all over the world with our money. So now we are actually in a place where we can win, where we can actually come out of this thing on top. And we don't have to be on the bottom all the time because of these damn predators who've been stealing from us and destroying the world, putting us in war after war and all this crazy stuff. and attacking other countries in our name, it just had to stop, which I'm very happy about that. I don't want to see anybody in the world suffer. I've been to third world countries. I've spent major time in places that were absolutely destitute. So looking at what's happening in the world right now, this is an absolute, this is a game changer. Trump was a game changer, or is a game changer. So I personally believe we need to be ready, or at least backing him as much as possible. And again, I'm not saying you need to be a Trumper, but, I'm sure most of you can see when someone's trying to do good. Now, let's just go ahead and get into we'll go over the crypto market a little bit. And as you can see, things, just on down the list, just absolute a bloodbath. And hey, I think some of us were expecting it. I think XRP even got down. I saw it had gotten down to 188. Again, if you're new to crypto, if you haven't, if you haven't heard about XRP, or you're new and you're buying XRP, this is a good time. It may go a little bit lower. I don't know. Tomorrow is really kind of a toss-up. Not sure what's going to happen. And again, guys, I am no advisor. I'm no, predictor. I'm not a TA guy. None of that, right? I don't know what's going to happen. But I do, I've seen these patterns before. And generally, like I said, when we have days like this, we have to have days that are opposite, right? And with all the things that we're seeing in the world, because I always equate the crypto market, I try to compare it with what's going on in the world. And we know that, of course, like I mentioned, the tariff thing is the major catalyst to this. And again, it's overhyped in my opinion. But once all this is over, what do you think is going to happen? We have major technical analysts who are calling for reasonable people, not the crazy whacked out people talking about $1,000 or whatever. A lot of very credible TA guys are talking about up to $30 XRP, which would absolutely make sense. Why? Because we missed the last bull run, and what didn't stop, even though all of that stuff was going on, what didn't stop was the advancement of XRP. It slowed down a little bit, but even still, XRP has more, or rather Ripple, using XRP, they have more partnerships than any other group, or any other utilizing any other cryptocurrency out there. So what I have mentioned before is that XRP has to catch up to where it should be. This is the reason why it's been performing so well, because the what's backing it, what's behind it, the interest and what it's being used for is so huge. Just to make it simple, it's so huge that XRP is not going to go back to 50 cents. There was enough manipulation before that kept the price down. But now it's not happening. Not to mention, if it did go like below $1, I'm telling you now, I'd put pretty much everything in it, plus my left foot. Okay. And I'm sure most of you guys would too. I'll tell you, I would absolutely love it if it went back to 50 cents, but it's not. And there are a lot of other projects out there. Don't get stuck on one. You need to be diversified, even within crypto, and also outside. You should always have exposure to multiple markets, if at all possible. That's just a good idea. I know I am. I know most smart investors, they operate that way. So let's just go ahead and get into the meat of it. I just wanted to show you guys something, and as like I said, I mean, you can see for yourself if you want to check out the market. If you haven't done so, yes, today it's been quite something. But let's go ahead and look at the tariff thing. I know this is really bright if you're looking at your screen, but what I wanted to talk about mainly, and I'm sure most of you have heard this or heard about it. The thing is, this whole tariff thing, the reason why I say it's overhyped is because, like every country that the U.S. has been dealing with, they tariff us. They tariff us. So what's been happening is so there was a tariff that Trump placed on China when he was in office last time. Well, the Biden administration didn't take that tariff off. And I'm telling you, the reason why they did that was because they wanted the optics. They wanted the optics to show, well, yeah, we're tariffing China. But what was happening was that China was operating, they were tariffing other countries, right? So what those other countries were doing was tariffing the U.S. So they would offset the tariffs that were being imposed on them by China. So essentially, China was eliminating the tariff that was between the U.S. and China by tariffing these other countries. So it was a by proxy situation. But now Trump is calling everybody to the carpet, and he's going to make sure that we are being treated fairly. And if anybody out there, any of these damn crazy leftist Democrats out here who have a problem with that, then they hate this country. And they hate themselves. I mean, who's going to be okay with allowing themselves to be taxed into oblivion because we were being taxed? Okay, yeah, I had to step away for a minute. We have company, and they were being a little bit loud, so I was trying to see if I could get them to quiet down. But, hey, sometimes it doesn't work. Anyway, so yeah, that's what was happening to us, and the only way to keep that whole game going was to continually raise taxes on us. So, guys, look, what was going to end up happening if Kamala had gotten in? They were going to continue to raise taxes. They were going to continue to find ways to take our money. And one of the other things that she had said that she was going to put in place was an unrealized capital gains tax. I mean, do any of you who supported Kamala, do you realize what that means? I mean, seriously, do you realize what that means? That literally would have meant the death of investments. It would have meant the death of this country, the whole idea behind it. It would have destroyed the middle class and the lower class. We would have been done. There would have been no crypto investing because just imagine XRP gets to, so it goes to $10, you sell. But then it goes on to $20. You're going to be taxed. You would have been taxed on the $20 level or whatever level it went to, whether you sold or not. So how do you, so say you had 10,000 XRP, it went to $30, you never sold for whatever reason, it comes back down to $1.20, and your tax burden is based on the $30 level. That's what she was suggesting. Madness. You gotta understand that what's happening right now was absolutely necessary. It had to happen. The whole thing with, oh my God, I'm sorry. like I said, we have company. So anyway, it was absolutely necessary. It had to happen. And in the long run, and I don't think it's going to be a long time. I think we're going to see, at the very longest, just my opinion, at the very longest time frame, maybe another couple weeks, and we're going to see a really nice turnaround in all the markets. Things are going to totally change. But I think this coming week, we're going to start seeing reports of all these countries that are coming in that are going to want to make deals. So I just wanted to let you guys know where I am, like what I'm thinking about, and what I understand everything to be, what's, things that are happening, right? And look, you can look for yourself. Look at all these tariffs. This was back in 2022. This is the year range was 2022. So China 89%, Mexico 77%. All of these tariffs were going on, and we were either not tariffing them or very little, like 2%, whatever. It's very, very little as far as the tariffs go. Any reciprocal or none at all. Now, Trump is just either doing a reciprocal tariff or just tariffing them half of what they're tariffing us, right? So, yeah. So anyway, guys, this is, things that you can look into yourself. Like I said, I totally believe that things are about to turn around. So yeah, just hold on, and I'm going to be buying as we go down, and I'm looking for things to really turn around. So I hope this information was something that you can use. I hope you guys just at least do some research, look for yourselves. If you're not a veteran of my channel and that you've just come across it, look, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and liked the video. Also hit the post notification button so you know when I post it again. Yeah, guys, I think we're going to see some pretty interesting times over the next, let's say maybe the few weeks or maybe a month or so. Anyway, that being said, guys, this has been Mr. Free Coiner. Take care of yourselves, and God bless.